Y'all are already having a conversation. Y'all are already in the Skype convo. So look, my camera's up here. I'm looking at the comments over here. It's been a long day. What tea are y'all already catching up on without me? Let me know. Please comment if you can hear me correctly. Please comment if you can see me correctly. I should have put some earrings on, but I have piercings that I got 3 months ago. My ears still haven't healed all the way, so I've been slowing down on wearing the jewelry. Hello, welcome to the after party of Insecure, season 4. Today we're discussing episode 3. Y'all know I don't never look up the title of the show. Such a scallywag. So comment the title of the show in the comments so I can see them. I just be watching. Today's episode was let's get this mic up in here so we can do this correctly. All right. Excuse me. Girl, I'm sorry. I was late because I actually like, let me put some like lashes on and come to y'all correct because I had a whole beat the other day and did nothing but recording my Patreon podcast. I did record my review for Self Made, which will be up tomorrow. But I was like, dang, I be doing all this makeup to sit in the house. Click, click, clank. So I was like, let me put on a little bit of a look. Oh, you can't hear me. Oh, no, you can hear me because people are telling me the title is Low Key Thankful. Wow, I haven't seen you in so long, Amma. Sometimes I be feeling like, do you love me anymore? Okay. So this is how this review goes. First of all, if you are here on the replay and you want to comment that Dag is longer than the show, bitch, leave. No, let me say it respectfully. X out, you can go. But seriously though, this is how this works. This is to be an immersive and is it low? Oh, you know what? My audio's low because I have it set. Sorry, it should be louder now. Okay. Let's rewind here. Not to be disrespectful, but this review is going to run long because it's an after party and I want to hear from my audience on their thoughts. It's not just about my thoughts. However, the first about 20 minutes will be my actual review of the show. So you can get a short-ish review. And then after that will just be Skype call-ins, and the Skype link is listed down below in the description box for people to join in and have a conversation about the episode. That's the whole point. Okay, so let me get into my review, and then we're going to have a really good time because we're going to hear from all the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. Why is Leticia commenting in the in the Skype convo about she's not on YouTube or Skype? You are. You're right here. I can see you. Okay. So, if you would like to call in and give your opinion, the Skype link is down below, but we're going to start off with my initial review. We've already done burn 3-4 minutes with me just talking and replying to comments. All right. So, this episode was called Low Key Thankful. Thank you to the audience for letting me know. And what we have learned firmly is that Lawrence is a bitch ass nigga. Did you not know? Say with me, crowd. Lawrence is a bitch ass nigga. Clearly, he flexed the bitch assness a lot this episode. I do have to give a shout out though because my chapter soar and my pro fight Candace was featured at Condola's Thanksgiving dinner. We see you booking gigs and shit. Very proud, very cute. Ew. Very happy for you. She was she liked the twist in her hair and the burgundy dress, the lesbian couple. That was my pro fight. Okay. First of all, the opening scene. Does Condola sleep without a head wrap on? And then wakes up with her hair that perfectly coiffed? Like, she has to be the feds. Something about Condola this episode just struck me as awkward, and I couldn't figure out, was it the acting, was it the script, or is her character meant to be like something about Condola wasn't congealing for me this episode. Okay. And I don't know. I think maybe it's not like a negative, right? It's not like a, oh my gosh, I can't stand this show. I don't want to see her anymore. But something this episode, I'm finding like it's maybe, I don't know if it's her character like I kind of want her character to progress out of this like, oh, a deer caught in headlight stage, but maybe, I mean, if we're moving the storyline along 2 months or a month at a time, I just feel like maybe her character should have a little bit more like togetherness in this, like the unsureness and it's the cautionariness of it all seems awkward, especially when you consider that we're going from Halloween to Thanksgiving. So we're going from late summer to Halloween to now Thanksgiving. And there's still this sort of lack of comfortability. There's this lack of transparency. And there's just a, like, I don't know. Okay. I will say Issa again, and I just have to say this every review. Issa's Return to the Store wardrobe is looking immaculate. Molly, this episode, the wardrobe immaculate. Issa, the hair immaculate, like amazing, gorgeous, beautiful. All right, you gonna pull an old Molly and scare his ass anyway in the grocery store with the avocado not? Is it avocado not? Avocado? Whatever the corny ass joke Issa told. So Issa and Molly are still throwing barbs at each other. However, I think they come to a come hither moment in the grocery store, thankfully, and we've been off. Yeah, I know. Do you want to talk about it at pie at Thanksgiving? Why are they agreeing to have a friend deep conversation on the day of obligation? You know, Thanksgiving is a day of obligation for everyone. Like, I don't know why they would agree when they clearly have been like they've been having these barbs for a while. They are good friends, even if the friendship is to end. They are good friends. But I guess maybe it is also like a comfortableness. And sometimes when you just assume that somebody is always going to be there and it's just your friend and you take for granted on both sides your accessibility to them, then I guess for the two of them and their comfortable level with each other and how long they've known each other, it's easy to just say, okay, well, let's have this conversation on Thanksgiving. In my mind, though, I mean, I'm not a person who celebrates holidays. I didn't grow up in a family who celebrates holidays. So I kind of have a keen awareness of how unavailable people are on Thanksgiving and holidays, because that's how alone I am on the holidays. So I just wouldn't set up like a serious discussion or any sort of emotional discussion on a day that's full of obligations to family members. Um, yeah. I love seeing Molly with her family, so I am happy that we go back to Molly's house, and they kind of address where we left off in season, what was that, 3? Well, last season, where Molly had found out that her father cheated on her mother, but they've worked it out, and that was like 20 years ago. But apparently, Molly has not been talking to her dad since then, and they kind of lightly address it. So I'm happy for the acknowledgement. Man, I wish I knew the actor's name. I know the two guys that play her brother are popular on like Vine, were popular on Vine, Instagram, social media comedians. And I think it's really good casting. Like, I really enjoy the dynamic of being in her house and all the character players, the whole like focus on the stripper heels. Like, I guess. Um but I just enjoy that sort of environment. And I think maybe on part, not only is the casting really good, not only does the writing tend to be really good when Molly interacts with her family, but also it's just a good peek to get Molly out of her interaction with Issa, where everything towards to land with Molly kind of just being annoying. And I think you get to see a little more humanity when she's with her family. And I think her brother was absolutely right when he pulled her to the side and was like, yo, you've been weird to dad all year. And what are you going to do? Focus on the negative, but not focus on the fact that he came back around. And our mom is the one who lived through it. And so she could move on. There should be some way for you to move past this. And the fact that, like, they didn't stay there. You know, you can't hold this grudge for their mother when mom has moved on, and like this is something you're finding out that happened 20 years ago. Like, you can't be the mad one in this situation. I don't know who Masika is. Y'all saying, is that Masika? Oh, in the stripper heels. Is this actress the one that, is that Masika, the girl that's Fetty Waps? baby moms, or are we talking about? I don't know. We know is it Love and Hip Hop? Is that the actress? I don't know what y'all talking about, Masika. We'll get to that later. But I think her brother, Molly's brother, pulling her in the kitchen was absolutely correct. Like, how are you focusing on the negative? It'd be one thing if our mother felt some type of way. It'd be one thing if it was recent. It'd be another thing if they had broken up. But they have chosen to be together, and she's moved past it. And you have to look at the fact that whatever he did was enough for the mother to forgive him and for them to have this great relationship now. Like, this shouldn't entirely ruin the relationship they had. So that was good. Issa's family, I also love seeing the dynamic with her brother. Was this the actress that played her brother this year? Was this the same actress from season 2? I feel like in a previous episode, Issa's real mother played her mother. But I wasn't sure about that. And I don't really have a lot to say about the whole Thanksgiving scene with Issa's family because it was all kind of like expose and nothing actually happened acting with her family aside from the brother, who I think their dynamic is hilarious. And then when we get to Condola's house, I was kind of confused because it came across when the actress from Black Lady Sketch Comedy girl, why don't I ever remember names? I never remember names. That bitch is in the kitchen with Lawrence. It came across as if Lawrence didn't know that Condola was divorced. But then at the end of the evening, when Condola and Lawrence are in the kitchen, Condola says it to him as if he's well aware of the fact that she's a divorcee. And I feel like it has come about before in a previous episode where they kind of mentioned in passing that Condola was a divorcee. But I thought it was interesting the way that scene was set up. So I wasn't sure. But Lawrence is just bold. He's so bold. And he's so bold with his insecurities. Like your decision when you are bold is always based around your feelings of lacking, your feelings of being less than, and you're really bold with how you throw them on the other person. Like, that's when Lawrence is bold. I don't know if they're setting up for the fact that he might be getting fired or laid off. We'll see further on. When I don't really care about that nigga job. But for him to turn around and be like, are you still getting over your ex? Nigga, what the fuck is you doing? Because last episode, you just pulled up on Issa talk about keep my name out your mouth. Clearly, you not over something. Lawrence a bitch ass nigga. Matter of fact, I wrote, ha 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 ha. This a bitch ass nigga named Lawrence with the IGDM. Like, everything about Lawrence is just whack. It's like, no, I don't want to see him and Issa back together. No, I don't want to see that dynamic. I get it. It is incredibly difficult to break up with someone who you were in love with and dating for 5 years. So no, I don't expect it to be a clean break. But like, I don't need Lawrence to be a main cast member. I need less Lawrence time, okay? Lawrence is a bitch ass nigga, and I am over him. The Black Bougie Brunch crew at Condola's Thanksgiving dinner was interesting. I don't know what that was meant to say about her. I think she's the feds because she doesn't sleep with a bonnet and still has immaculate hair in the morning. It's a lie, a tale, and a fallacy, but okay. And something about her is just not congealing. Other than that, I think this is kind of like an episode where we can build up to what's going to happen later in the season. So we're getting a bunch of hints, right? So there's not a whole lot for me to critique because I think things are like opening up. Okay, we're opening up the conversation about what's going on with Lawrence's job. We're opening up the conversation, I guess, about the direction that Condola or Lawrence is going in. But like, look, y'all in y'all 30s, y'all in y'all mid 30s. People don't be dragging their feet like this, but whatever. That's just me projecting my own personal life on this shit. Then we get the opening up of Issa and Molly's dynamic and them supposedly addressing whatever their issue is because they both acknowledge that they've been coming after each other and being snippy and pushing each other's buttons and being disrespectful. But it's interesting in the way that they communicated with each other on Thanksgiving night. I guess we can talk about that, right? So Issa legitimately, a thing was thrown for a loop, right? She gets to her mother's house. Her mother's boyfriend is headed to the hospital. So her mom ends up leaving. Her and her brother don't want to stay because they're not comfortable. So they go for dinner. And that ends up extending their time before Issa can get to Molly's house. But Issa doesn't say all that. Issa simply says, "It's crazy. I'm gonna be a little late for pie time." And Molly takes like Molly's over her, I guess, but it's like because it's hard because you're watching this show, and I think so many of us relate to certain aspects of the show that you want to project your own personal life on this. I will just say this: the way that Issa and Molly interact with each other is not how I would deal with my friends. Okay, do you, girl? Because it comes across as a slight. It comes across as like slightly arrogant. I don't know. It just comes across as like you're not really trying to talk to me. You're not really going to understand me. It just comes across as like a dig, right? Okay, do you, girl? And then at the end of the night, Issa ends up canceling altogether. I just, it. I get it, and I'm not gonna say it's unrealistic. I'm not gonna say that doesn't really happen. I think the kind of I have about it is because that's not how I move. So I'm gonna own that. Oh, the way I view this situation is a lot of projecting of my own personal way of going about things, because we already know that their friendship is gonna come to a head, but it's just like it seems avoidable. I'm gonna be on the team. A lot of their fallout feels avoidable, and that's where I land with it. But this is also a TV show, and we need more interesting things to discuss. And so I guess the slow burn to their fallout has to happen, and that's just where we're at with it. Okay, so let's hit the comments up. That's the end of my review. If you would like to video call in, there's a Skype link down below. We already have people in. I would love to hear your opinions on it. Oh, by the way, if you're here, we're going to do a Black as Fuck, probably live. Probably live. We're going to do a Black as Fuck live. Maybe tomorrow, if not Tuesday. I don't know. It depends on when I put my wig on properly. I'll let y'all hoes know. But get ready for that. Mm. No, we're not saying that this episode was bad. We're saying that this episode was build up. And so it's not I can't say this episode was great, and I can't say it was bad, because I feel like a lot of the things that happened this episode were meant to move the storyline along and build up to what's going to happen later in the season. Are people ready to call in? Let me ask. So about Issa's comment, it was a dig you saw about Molly's comment. It was a dig. You saw Molly's face when she wrote it. Issa read it as a dig. It was over it. Yeah, it did. I did feel like it was a dig, and that's why I'm just kind of like, but I can't, I can't quabble over it because people do move like that. So these comments are moving a mile a minute. Can we talk about the last scene with Lawrence hitting up Issa? Yes, that last scene was Lawrence is a bitch ass nigga. That's how we talk about it. I don't know what more is there to be said about him pressing against Condola about are you over your ex? And she's right. You still joke with Issa. It's a very uncomfortable situation for everyone involved, but especially Condola, because what does she trust? What is she supposed to expect from you? And then you go and you slide into Issa. I mean, he didn't slide into Issa DMs and say anything. It was an emoji. But you know you wrong for that. You know you wrong for that. Especially after you was questioning your ex. Okay. Let me... Oh, who's already in the call? Girl. Somebody already here. But ain't got their camera on. Okay. This is weird. Okay. I can't see you. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna add you. Hold on.
My file. Okay.
All
I
right.
wanted to come. I'm
Hold
doing
on. You're
great.
not at it yet. Don't start talking. You got to wait. Okay, here you go. Wait, let me go to the right side so you can see my pretty ass face. Over here. Hi, go ahead. What's your name? Who is you?
What are you drinking on, Josie? What is that?
It's rosé vodka and grapefruit soda.
Okay, I see you. I
It's
see you. It's a flex. It
okay.
is.
Okay.
I wanted to come in about a couple of things that I saw in the show that you were talking about in the review. I wanted to talk about the timeline. I totally agree. We're jumping far ahead in timeline because I think the way they're following the timeline, it seems as if that the block party will be between January or early February. But I kind of feel like we're going to slow down a bit to kind of discover the timeline that's going on between the relationship and layers between Issa, Consola, and Lawrence. The second thing I wanted to talk to was about the dissecting of Consola's um, character this episode.
Mhm.
How we're starting to kind of take the layers off of her. You know, I kind of thought that was interesting in an aspect of like, okay, we saw her as this really great awkward person compared to Issa, and now we're starting to kind of see that she has her own story that we didn't know before. Another thing I wanted to talk about was Lawrence and Issa's getting back together. We were talking about this in the comments. I don't think that it's necessary for Lawrence and Issa to get back together. Just because they've been in a relationship for 5 years doesn't necessarily give it the attitude that they should be together and that she should feel lucky that she's getting the Lawrence from 5 years. Like it's the way life works. It's not like it's a retraction. So X is an X for a reason. I thought that was an interesting conversation at the Thanksgiving dinner at Consola's house. It all kind of refolds back into each other.
Mhm.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was the communication between Molly and Issa. Molly and Issa, to me, I think you're right. Issa is right in terms of the way they communicate, the way they communicate what's going on with their feelings. So those are the points I wanted to touch base with you, Joseph, and
You
ask
took
you what
notes. You
was
came,
your
girl. You was ready.
interpretation
You was
of
like
all
bullet
these
point, bullet
things.
point, bullet point. You had it. You got it. All
I'm
right.
just saying, Joseph. I just wanted to get your opinion on this
Okay.
because
So
I
let's
just want
go
to make
back to
sure I
bullet
was
point
interpreting.
one. What was bullet point one?
Bullet point one was the timeline.
You're right. Okay, so I think we all agree on that, right? The
Okay.
timeline is changing the way in which I think about the show. And so I think I have a right to expect more from certain character development, especially if we're jumping ahead 3 months at a time. I know somebody called in last time and was like, what's the timeline? For me, if they didn't mention the timeline, I'm okay with the show kind of living in like this infinite space where things just happen over time. But this season, it feels like they've made a poignant effort to acknowledge what the timeline actually is. And so that causes me to think differently about where I expect Condola and Lawrence's relationship to be. Because if we're going to go
Okay.
across 6, 7 months, then it should be different. And it feels like we're still at like the 2, 3 month mark.
But that's what I think is so interesting, though, Josie, because I feel like this episode, like you mentioned in the review, is opening up character development. And somebody mentioned in the comments, we were talking about this. Somebody thought that Kelly should have more of a storyline. And Kelly is a
Yes.
secondary story because the
Okay.
show is called Insecure. So Kelly doesn't give me that character
But
that
Kelly ain't got to be
develops
the
into
fat black friend. That's just a joke. She's just a corny. She a cornball.
right. She
Kelly
just
don't need to be.
CPIs
It's not even
comfortably.
that. Kelly
That's what
does
I
not need to.
thought.
Kelly doesn't need to be a main character. She could be a secondary
No.
character, and we can still get some exploration into a bit more character development. Kelly, the character, is flat. She's the fat black funny friend. Point blank, period. She don't ever get no like valuable dick. She don't ever get love in a real way. She's there for everyone to laugh at. Everyone to laugh at. And so I think that it's not that she needs to be a main character, but it is that we need to move past laughing at Kelly. They need to give us
Exactly.
something more.
It's stereotypical. So that's why I felt like, okay, this is not giving us a character that needs to be developed. It's just giving us a comic relief in the storyline is in general because there's so many serious subject matters that are being covered in the story that we can all relate to independently. That's what I saw. So that's what I see basically because we're watching the show
Yeah,
current
well, Kelly
time.
don't have to be a
Yeah,
stereotype. I think we can agree on that. Whatever more or less we see of her character, I think it just doesn't need to be a stereotype. And right now, for the past 4 seasons, she's been a stereotype.
exactly. Josie, I'm not gonna hold you because I know there are more people that
Okay,
want
I
to.
was okay. I was trying to hit your other bullet points because I don't remember them. I'm straight.
Oh, I was talking about Lauren Cazola's character, how they pinpointed that on this season, how we saw her in the first two episodes as this really kind of correlation between Issa and herself and how they both were awkward black girls. We saw that
Yes.
first and second season and the last season. This season, this episode kind of we were kind of shown a different. They decided to refocus that. That's what I'm going with that. They decided to kind of unravel her in different roles. And her role in Issa's life, like I feel like that's what people were interpreting, but I feel like everybody feels differently about how that was being revealed to us because again we're relating these characters to our own story and our
Yes.
own lives.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that experience is for most people, especially for black women, like I feel like it kind of hits a place for
Mm-hmm.
them, and I felt like that was a great way to do that for Consola because we didn't know she was married before. We didn't know
I
that.
feel
We
like
didn't
it's
know the
come
type of
up in a
friends she
previous
had.
episode. Did it not come up in episode 1 that she was married?
I don't remember. I gotta go back and rewatch our own
Yeah, I think I'm
story
the same.
and our
Okay, we got
own
other people
lives.
jumping in, so
So
I'm
whatever
gonna
that
X you
experience
out
is for most
and
people,
add them. But thank you
especially
so
for black women.
much. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye. Okay, folks are already in here. All right. Okay, Brittany, you ready? You gonna have
Yes.
to mute the YouTube because I can't. We can't Teddy Riley me with the echo in the background. So you gotta mute
Hold on,
the.
what happened?
You have to mute YouTube if you have YouTube up because I can hear it in your back. I can hear my reverb. You have to mute it before I add you.
Can you still hear it?
No, it's fine now. So I'm gonna add you. Oh, since with my shirt on, hey, can you mute yourself? And I'll add you once Brittany's done. Okay. Everyone's real excited to join in the call tonight. So we have a little. Somebody has me on in the background. You're gonna have to turn me off. Okay. Hi, Brittany.
Morning, how are
I'm
you?
good. How are you?
Doing good. So I'm not gonna hold y'all, but like I'm here because it's on my heart heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I need us to have compassion for Molly. I need us to have compassion for her. Um, because I think that symbolically, I think she is upset with her dad, but I also think that we have to acknowledge that for some people, especially in the daughter father dynamic, the way that we look at our fathers is how we, look at how, the potential person that we're going to date. So I feel like that crushed something in her.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think it's really personal that she sees her mom as her, because obviously her mom is like past whatever happened. But I feel like for her, like something internally has made her feel like, yo, like, I don't know. I just feel like something is kind of crushed inside of her. And I feel like a lot of it is
Okay,
like
so let's.
this.
How old do we believe Molly is?
How old do we believe she is?
Mm-hmm. Have they
I
said it in the
don't know.
show? I'm gonna go with like a good 32.
Probably so.
Okay. I feel like if at 32 I found out my daddy was a nigga, I wouldn't hold on to it for a whole entire year.
Has it really been
Especially
a year though?
if I yes, because this was last Thanksgiving. Was it? What was the holiday? Were they not at Thanksgiving last year?
I gotta think about it because I feel like it was a few months. Like, but again, this goes back to the timeline being very choppy again. So I'm not sure, but I will say I think it's different for everybody. But I feel like I
And
can
okay,
see
wait.
it.
I'm gonna start to hyphen you. Whatever timeline it was, Molly was fucking Dro, a married man, when she found out her daddy cheated on the mama 20 something years ago. What's the this shit? That what we doing? Okay, cause
True,
compassion,
true.
compassion,
But true.
compassion, compassion for Dro White.
true. This is true. This is very true. But what I'm saying is that probably even also adds to the brokenness that is going on. So I feel like we need to at least we need to look at Molly deeper. I think we need to go back to these therapy sessions. And we need to see what's going on because there's something that's really affecting her, and I think it's deep. I think it's deeper than her relationship with her father, but there's something there, like that has led her through all of these little dysfunctional situations that she's having around men in general. So I just want to see that happen. Other than that, you know what, Lawrence, that I don't want to see Lawrence and Issa back together. I think Issa definitely deserves to move on. I think she really still has some type of weird resentment towards Lawrence and all of the things that she's
You
done for
think
him, and now
Issa?
having to
Okay,
see him.
I I think Issa's a I think it's what is that feedback happening on my side? I'm sorry, guys. There's a
It's not.
okay. So I think Issa's like a lot of women though, in that it's just I think it's more it's not even like a lot of women. I think it's an issue of he's moving on before her and he's moving on with someone who she has proximity to. And if it wasn't so in her face, because I honestly feel like if Issa was moving on, Lawrence would have a very similar reaction. Like if Issa was in a super lovey-dovey relationship with someone, I think it's a mutual thing, right? To be with someone for 5 years and they never paid for you or they never did certain things because you were with them when they were still going through their maturation process.
True,
I,
but
I
but
think
he
for the
couldn't
most part,
feel
she's
that
let
way.
go of Lawrence. It's just the proximity of someone who you thought you were going to be friends with being Lawrence's new girlfriend. And if it wasn't so in her face. Somebody has me on in
True.
the background. I can hear me.
Yeah, I do hear your echo. No, that's true. I'm gonna let it go. But no, I definitely think that's true. But I think also too, yeah, if she the fact that she is seeing it and the fact that she feels it's almost like she built the nigga up. She's built the nigga up, and now she has to actually see somebody be with him as the semi built up version from what she can see. But
Yeah.
Condola can actually see that this nigga is not. He's obviously very much still in that
Can Condola
bum
see?
nigga
I think we
mindset.
can see, and Condola's just hesitant because Condola is out of a marriage from a year and a half ago. So I feel like the little bit of reaction that we get out of her character is more hesitancy versus wherewithal.
But the hesitancy is also too she doesn't know. I feel like going back to when Lawrence actually went to Issa's place to shut her up. I think his insecurity stems from the fact that he knows he was a bum ass nigga on her couch, and he still feels like that bum ass nigga on her
He
couch,
do,
and he
but
doesn't
Lawrence
want
is a bum ass
Condola to
nigga
know
in
that he is
life.
still
That
that
wasn't
bum
even
ass
just a
nigga
bum
on
ass
his
nigga in Issa life. He a bitch ass nigga in real life.
couch. Right. Still stuck in a bum nigga mindset on the couch, and he doesn't, but he sees that obviously Condola is on a certain level, and it's like he's like, yo, I feel like I need to level up. He's like, no, you good. But I feel like inward her spirit is telling her, yo, like, he's giving me bum nigga vibes.
You think that's what Condola? That's what you see in Condola?
I feel like yes. And I feel like
Okay.
that's why she let her friends play that nigga a little bit. Like, I think he might just be a bum nigga. And like, that's not cool.
hmm. Hmm.
You
He might be
know.
on to
But
something. Well, we'll have to see later in the season. All right, I got like 20 people in this video chat, so I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for joining.
all right.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye.
You
Okay.
too.
Before I add anybody else, if I have not added you to the Skype chat, you got to mute your mic because y'all are Teddy Riley the fuck out of me right now. You got me out here sounding crazy. Okay, we gonna add this next person. Is this Princess Weeks? She can add her mic on. I think she might have done muted her shit. She got my whole shirt on and everything. Hello.
Hi.
Ooh. Hello. Did it freeze? I'm gonna X you out and then add you back because it froze for. Okay. Yo, connection is frozen, sis. And it's mad feedback. It's frozen. There's like three other people in here. Ooh, what is that? What is it? I'm sorry, y'all. I got like one, two, three, four, five. Oh, well, reset your internet and come back. I got like I don't know who this is. I got so many people in here that are trying to like join. Marcus, come, Miss. Yeah. Oh no, Marissa. Marissa, you can add your video and your mic now. You can come in. Oh, girl, you're back. Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on, let me add you back. Let me add you. We have a return guest. Hello, sis. How you doing? Good to see you again this week. Hello. Oh, I apologize. No problem. They them. What's up, Day? How you doing? Sib, like sibling, like you're not my sibling. Okay, you done put some new vocabulary me on a new vocabulary. Thank you. Oh wait, you're muted. My bad, my
On.
bad. You got to start that all over again. I had you on mute. I'm
Oh,
so
it's
sorry.
okay. Okay.
Okay,
So I tried
first of all,
to.
let me clarify. They non-binary, so it's Sib. Thank you. They added some new vocabulary to my language, and I apologize for having them on mute. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I tried to rewatch the series to create a timeline because I'm like, it's been years. It's been 4 years of this show. When really on the show, it's only been like a year and a half. So they're
Really?
all like 29, 30, 31, going through their Saturn returns, having the opportunity to make a new choice and deciding not to and redoing the same shit because they're not learning their lessons. So it's like, okay, grace, because I'm the same age as them. So, okay, they're either going to get this the hard way or the easy way. The other thing, I am so grateful for brothers. I don't have any sisters, but randomly I'll have a real ass talk with my brother, and I feel like Molly and Issa both had real ass talks with their brothers that they weren't able to have with each other. And also, in going back to the like first season, one thing I noticed is that the only people who get sex scenes are main characters. And I think they like got forced into making Lawrence a main character when they really didn't want to. But I realized I haven't seen anybody else on the show have sex except Molly, Issa, and Lawrence. And it was like, okay, I guess I gotta accept this nigga. But also, like, the thing that holds their relationships together, the three of them, is their insecurities. And what I feel like Molly and Issa have been doing, I feel like Issa's been phoning into her relationship with Molly. Like Molly's like
Phoning
trying to be
in.
different, be a little vulnerable, and Issa's like, "Girl, you know you be doing too much. I'm not even gonna make eye contact with you. I'm gonna
Can
make
I
an
ask a
avocado joke." It's
question?
like,
Is it okay? I think you have a point with the phoning in, but I would like to play devil's advocate. Can it also be that Molly is one of those people who like will say, "Okay, I'm gonna work on this shortcoming of mine," but then expect an immediate reward for it? So, okay, I need to work on my vulnerability and then immediately go be vulnerable with Issa. And when that doesn't happen, it's like, oh no, how, like, you know what I mean? Does she?
I feel like I feel like it's both. I feel like she's trying to work. The thing is that when you look at the first season, these fools will like drop what they were doing to call each other, which is super codependent. And now Molly still wants that to happen, but now she's actually being vulnerable. Because before they'd be like, girl, guess what? You'll never believe what. And Molly's not doing that part anymore, but she's still expecting oh, stop what you're doing. We need to like talk to each other about this thing. And it's like now that she actually has like some genuine vulnerable stuff to talk about, Issa's like, I mean, this is probably the same regular Molly, like, I tried to video chat this dude after he sent me a good morning text, so now we're not talking anymore. So I don't need.
Ooh, it just got did a lot of feedback on my end. Hold on. You gotta stop talking because I think. Ooh, ooh, the, ooh, the feedback got so bad. I don't think it's you. I think it's because there's mad people in the chat now.
was even a mess then. Like, Broken Pussy has a different impact 4 seasons later than it did the first season. I'm like, geez, they are not treating each other well. But hopefully
Okay.
they figure it out.
Okay, wait. So you went out for like a good 2 sentences. So the last 2 sentences you said, one wants to know your name, and two, I need you to repeat like the last point you were making because it completely went out on the audio side.
Okay. My name's Marissa. Also go by Major. They them pronouns. And I was saying, in looking back at season 1, Molly and Issa weren't really even good to each other at the start of the series. Like, Broken Pussy was funny in the first episode, but looking back now, I was like, damn, that was a vulnerable moment. You didn't have to tell somebody it was about you, but also it was like, ooh, y'all don't even know how to talk this out. I don't know how y'all want to talk other things out, but I got hope. I'm entertained either way. Amal's great. I like the social media, but yeah, I got hope.
People are asking for your social media. I think somebody's trying to slide in them DMs. Like, y'all don't even know what's up. Every time you come on.
A backslide. And Issa's going to be like, I'm not doing this again. This is going to be great.
But that's a good point. And I'm happy you went back and rewatched the beginning. I didn't realize that the timeline was so condensed because it does feel like we moved at least 2-3 years and we haven't at all. And I think maybe that is kind of like the frustrated feeling is because the timeline is not clear and then you don't know how validated you are in expecting these characters to grow and they feel stunted. All right, I'm going to add some more folks because I'm getting mad feedback right now. So thank you for joining. Bye. Ooh, ooh. Oh, she was saying thank you, Julesy. Girl, the feedback is so bad right now. Okay, I don't know who this person is. I'm going to add. So there is a delay. So sometimes you guys are talking about things that aren't happening. Okay. Kayla, I'm going to add you. And hopefully the feedback isn't too bad. Oh, where's my E? Oh, I have to add my camera back. I asked myself, I was like, wait, what's going on? All right, let me unmute you. Hello, Kayla. How are you doing? Dad, who thumbs down me? Don't be rude. You have to unmute your mic. I can't hear you. Oh, okay. The feedback is really bad. I'm going to end the call altogether because I think part of the problem is there's too many people in here. Okay. There's way too many people. And for some reason it's causing a lot of feedback. So let me just individually call people and see if that'll work. Because the technical difficulties are I know on y'all end, y'all can't hear anything, and I can only like maybe hear a little bit of something. Okay, let's see if Kayla comes back up, and then we'll add her back if she adds the video. Can she see me? Because I can't see her. Okay. Talk. Okay, I have to unmute you. Yes. Thank you guys for working this out with us. I think because what I do beforehand is I would just start a call and everyone can join in. So it was causing a lot of feedback. So we're gonna try and come into 2020 with the technology. Okay, welcome.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, one of the things that you said, I think earlier on in the review about Issa and Molly's situation being totally avoidable, like that has been irking my nerves since they kind of introduced that they're falling out. Like I really just don't like when conflict it feels like, and I guess maybe because it is a short show, but it reminds me of like sitcoms from back in the day when literally the entire episode was about a misunderstanding between two characters. And
Hmm.
it just feels like childish and unnecessary. Like literally all like it's just a bunch of little misunderstandings. Like you said, had Issa said in the text, "Hey, my mama husband going to the hospital. I'm gonna hit you up later." Like I just feel like it was so
But is it
unnecessary. But
unrealistic? It might be unnecessary, but do little things never cause conflict in your life?
not like that. And I'm like you, like my friends don't move like that. We just
Yeah.
don't like honestly with my friends, if I mean my parents were married, but like if that situation happened, I probably would have called my homegirl then, like, bitch, guess what happened? Let me tell you about default. So I just that seemed kind of weird. And maybe I guess because they were in a weird space that that wasn't what she did, but they seemed to be so close that that would have been the reaction, even if you weren't like updating her on when you was getting there, just being messy about the fact that your
But
stepdaddy didn't fail.
per your accent, you not from LA. You know, LA bitches be petty.
I mean, I'm from Alabama. I'm from Alabama. We don't move like
I don't
that.
know. It
like,
might be a regional thing. You know, it might be like I don't know because it's like well, I'm seeing people thumbs me down in real life. The little software I use when y'all thumbs me down, thumbs me up, it like bursts on my screen. So I got a thumbs down burst up on my screen. That hurt my feelings. But I don't know. It's like I think for me, I have had little things that I would say are unexpected, and I felt like they could have been resolved a lot easier. I've had them come up, in regardless of my own actions. The other person said, decided not to communicate in a way that I felt was mature. So I don't know. I guess like I get it because it's not that I don't agree with you, but I am just very cautious of how much of is it us projecting our own personal mode of being onto the characters.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. I will say it doesn't feel as forced as it could be. Like the misunderstandings are, I think, understandable, but the fact that it's so many of them piling up on top of each other, that's annoying. Because again, like it obviously looks like it's going
It's
to be
no
a
break,
huge
right?
falling out.
You could take it the first couple of times, but we're now in season 4, and they keep doing the same shit over and over, and it feels long. But as Marissa
Right.
was saying, it's really only been a year and a half, which
Which is
is
really strange because now I'm confused because Molly was telling her mama and Issa brought it up that her and oh boy had only been talking for like 2 months. So I'm like, well, how long ago? Like,
well, maybe
what
they
are we doing?
only been. I don't. The timeline on this is real. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know.
It's but like I was hoping when we finally saw that Issa and Molly was, falling out, that it was literally one big kind of conflict. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not like a fight, but like one thing that like somebody
Right.
actually betrayed somebody type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's like this is kind of annoying. And then I will say I understand everybody talk about Lawrence as a fuck nigga. I totally agree, but I will say just in terms of like entertainment, I really do enjoy like him being in the mess. I don't want him to get back with Issa, but I will say I am like
You are
looking forward to seeing how he navigates
you are one of the
trying to
few
be friends with
people that
Issa.
enjoys seeing Lawrence back.
Like it's messy. Like it is so messy. Like I mean, who hasn't like? Because first of all, when he sent that reaction, I was weak because that is like 2020. I'm trying to talk to you, but not for real.
Yeah.
Like if the girl, you could be like, I mean, it was just a reaction. I didn't say nothing, but like you said, you was wrong for that. But
You
and then
hella
Issa
wrong.
typing back immediately. Like I'm just like I really wish though that I kind of wish Condola wasn't in the picture only because like I like the banter between him and her. And like I wouldn't want them to be together. Like I would like for that to be like a C or D storyline. That like they just cool now after all this time and like, they both like Issa's living her life and he
Mm-hmm.
just, one of the friends that maybe she when she run into they cool. But the whole Condola thing, she kind of I don't know, people be killing me. They call her all kind of stuff, condolences, canola, like but she do kind of rub me the wrong way. But then when
She
they
was
got
in
to the
something else.
Thanksgiving
That
scene,
actress was in something else I've seen recently. I don't know if it was a Tyler Perry film or
oh,
or a Netflix thing. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why the character, what about me is like not sitting with me right about that character now. Because it just struck
I
me this episode.
think her friend, like the context of the people she hang around, kind of helped me. Like, oh, okay, like she just seems unauthentic. Like who are these people
You,
you hanging with?
you
Like
know
none
what?
of
I
y'all
didn't
seem
even
like
pay
y'all
that
like
much
each other
attention
for
because
real. Why are
somebody
we
I
here?
knew
Like
was
what
in
is
that.
this?
I'm sorry to be talking over you. Somebody in that scene I knew personally, so I was just hella happy for like that 2-3 minutes. I wasn't really paying attention to the interaction.
Uncomfortable. Like especially old girl that was drunk. First of all, we if we're at a gathering and we are friends, why she the only one? Well, other than old boy who admitted to also being drunk, just presented differently. Like why everybody ain't toe up? And like why? And if we not all getting toe up, like why y'all just kind of? It to me, it felt like they
And
was
if she's toe up
laughing.
to the point where it's embarrassing, why are y'all pouring her more wine?
It was just really strange, like that entire thing. But I felt like between that, even just little stuff like why her alarm like that. Like I felt like that was what this episode was like, giving us more context to Condola, and I think like further pushing those of us who already were on the fence with her, like over, like nah, we don't really like her. Like she a little too weird. Like she not she because Issa is awkward. Condola is giving me weird, and that's just
You are right. Her
I
friend
don't know.
circle doesn't seem to really congeal.
Mm-mm.
It
Now I
don't
will
make
say
sense.
this. I kind of do hope Lawrence loses his job so that Condola gets to experience bum Lawrence like Issa did. Like that would be tea for me. Like if he got the if to see
That
how
would
she
actually
handles
be
that.
you might
'Cause
have
I
a
can easily
point
see
there.
him like I ain't none of Issa ass, okay? You not finna be around here jobless, bummy, like, and I can see that really fucking him up. I mean, I guess because it would be entertaining to watch, like him trying to grapple, like, what that am I a fuck nigga? Like my homeboy said, I be tripping sometimes. I don't know, but I would love to see that, honestly, honestly.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. It was great to hear
Oh,
from you
crap.
and see your beautiful face. We're gonna go add some more people because I think they thought I
Cool.
stopped the Skype call. But thank you. Have a good night.
No problem. You too.
Alrighty, let's end this one. What was somebody saying here? I don't dislike Condola, but something isn't landing for me this episode. The oh yeah, the alarm thing. I thought that was funny because I'm one of the people that needs an alarm like that. I take allergy medication and that shit will knock you out and you will be sleeping through any old kind of alarm. It don't matter what it is. Princess done called me twice. Who is in the call already? Let's go back to this call and see what's happening here. One participant in the call. Oh, but they don't have their there's two participants. Ooh, 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 ooh. We got feedback. And then they still have okay, we're gonna hang that up. That was a nice try. They have me on in the background. All right, let's call Princess because she's been trying to get in. Doom, doom, doom. Somebody, you gotta mute me in the background, sis. You have to mute. Yeah, I can add you, but you have to have mute YouTube on mute.
Yeah, you're muted and I have my headphones in.
Okay, hold on. Let me add you here so we can see your face. Look at sis with the smart brown girl merch on. Okay, you came through with the branding. I'm feeling real
Listen,
special. Got my shirt on.
I'm
Shop smart. That's
I'm a stan.
smartbrowngirl.com. Thank you.
I'm a stan, fellow
Cheers.
Aries. Happy belated birthday.
Yes, in quarantine. It's okay. When was your birthday?
Happy April 6th. I'm a devious April Aries, but I have so much Pisces in my chart. I'm very emotional.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you froze again. Princess's Wi-Fi. We're gonna have to get you with an Ethernet cord, sis.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Can you see me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy, but go ahead, just talk fast.
Is it working now? Okay, so the issue with Molly and her father really got to me because I've been really reading all about Love by Bell Hooks recently, like during quarantine, to kind of like get my mind okay for
Mm-hmm.
like talking about romance future. And I feel like we give parent like black parents,
we give them so much grace to mess us up emotionally because we realize that they've been through trauma, they've been through issues. Everyone got like old Black grandparents that do things that was like, whoa, that's a little bit shady, myself included. Um, but I feel like we don't often hold them to task for like, it's not just enough to stay. You have to really like be held accountable for those things. And I don't think that Molly's mom was a person who could, at least not from what we've seen. I know we don't get that much access, but it feels like no one is really holding him accountable for what he did. More just like, oh, he got better. And I feel like that to me, I don't know why, but that just really vexed my spirit because
Ooh, because you've been reading Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks didn't
when
like her daddy, first of all. Bell Hooks didn't even
yeah,
like her own daddy. Let's be clear. Bell
she had
Hooks
no
ate up
space.
her own mama because her mama would make her daddy plate and cut up the food for him. And low key, Bell Hooks called her own mama everything but a bitch. I think that might have been in Communion, though,
I
not in All About Love. But, I don't dislike Bell. Bell, like, she really challenges you. And I was literally just rereading Black Looks. I don't know, but what can he be held to task to now? We don't know what the cheating was. We don't know how the mom
right.
dealt with it. We don't know how they got back together. We know, and you know what does happen when someone cheats on you and you tell your friends or family, and then you choose to get back with him. Your
Mhm.
friends will tend to carry the burden of dislike, right? So you're
Right.
it's not unusual that her sister dislikes
Mhm.
or has some sort of ire towards her husband, and it might just more so be like, you can't sit here and present yourself as like the perfect Black couple because, like, nigga, you fucked it up at one point in time and had to
Mhm.
climb your way back, but we don't know what that climbing back looked like. So what task are we
And
really expecting Molly to hold her father to now?
I think while I think that's true, I also think that like that's why it bothers me that without seeing the work that he put into just seeing the aftermath, that Molly is expected to just assume and give him grace after this year. It's like, well, mom's over it, so you should be over it
But
too.
that's
But I feel like
yes, yes.
like I feel like even with the presentation of it, it's like, oh, because like they've worked it out, you shouldn't have to deal with the fact that like the man that was your figure, you're like, I think someone else said this, like the person that you put a lot of that energy into, and who would also probably chide you or chide your man and all kind of stuff, did that kind of thing. And I
Right, but
think that stuff kind of sticks with you. And for people to treat
you look.
Molly like she's being petty is like upsetting to me because I'm like, is it petty to be mad? Like, yes, your father's a nigga, but like, shouldn't you be a little bit salty about that for a while? Like, shouldn't you just be a little bit upset that like you're?
You hit it with the hard R. First of all, though,
I was sorry, that
if
was a
we're gonna,
mistake.
I mean,
That
you
was
black, it's
the
okay.
one.
If we're gonna quote bell hooks, right? If we're gonna pull the idea that if we're gonna build the foundation of the argument that
Hmm.
maybe what do we expect of Molly? We need to give Molly more grace because we give parents too much grace, and we haven't seen any of the work that the father did to repair the relationship. Word to bell hooks, all about love. Shouldn't we also be challenging Molly to re-envision the importance of an intimate partnership in her life? And that the problem is a lot of this is
Absolutely.
still predicated on a patriarchal view of what her life should look like, and her father has
Hmm.
failed in being the ideal man. But I think Molly also has some work on rethinking what that ideal man, who he is, and what value and placement does he really have in her life.
Absolutely. And I think the big flaw with that is that we don't see her mom talk to her on that level. Like, we so very deeply lack that kind of maternal relationships in these shows. Like, even Issa's mom in this episode came off as very like flighty, like gonna run after her man because he slipped on some grease or whatever. And so you have this lack of like from mother to daughter being able to talk about these issues in communicating like what's it like to have a husband that disappointed you but still find love. And that's why I find Condola, like, while she does seem very talented Tenzi, like I find her interesting because it's like she is
She
a woman who's
real
been a black woman who's been through
bougie.
divorce.
She like bougie and like almost less interesting than Tiffany, which is wow.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah,
Tiffany's like a
she
parody
has
of a
this very like
character.
Roy Gilmore way of
Yeah.
like how she moves like.
Tiffany is very panache. Like Tiffany feels like a commentary on bougie black folks. And Condola just this episode felt bougie. And I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard because like that's what this show is so middle class anyway. To have somebody who's like even more so is like very
Yeah.
jarring because we don't have that much working class vibe in it. But it is interesting because she is someone who has been through divorce and been through this kind of relationship that, like, she's kind of like a little bit higher up in that emotional, like, I've been through the failed, we had to do taxes and stuff together relationship. And like Lawrence is just now reaching that level. We don't have a lot of communication between women on this show who have been through multiple levels of like relationships and relationship trauma. It's all the same, like, my boyfriend, I don't communicate well. He live on my couch. I do pick me behavior. So I would just love for the show to have more of that sort of like more adult communication between like these mothers and their daughters. I feel like that's really missing from the show.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway.
I get where you're coming from, and I definitely appreciate your commentary. We have a bunch of people sending me messages right now.
Oh, no
So
problem. I will totally leave. But I
oh
love
God,
you
was
and
I
hope you
was
have a
gonna
great
keep
day.
it like that? You had the eggs. I was gonna give a proper goodbye and say thank you for joining, and I appreciate you. And you ain't got to go like that. But thank you, thank you for joining. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Okay, so someone says they want to give their opinion as a man. So let's see if I can call them. Oh wait, and while I call them, so Christopher says the real question is what caused Condola's divorce. It's not always the man's fault. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. There's nothing to like. I don't think there's any assumption that it is Condola's husband's fault. Like we just know she's a divorcee. That's it. There's nothing else. I don't know what else is happening with that. Okay, Deuce Duvall, I need to see your I don't see your video. I don't no. I just see me. Oh no, I didn't mean to share a screen. For some reason, I only see me. Let me hang up and call you again. Okay, I have a young man calling in, but for some reason, there's something I don't understand about Skype. All right, let's see what people are saying. Ooh, there are so many comments. Who's guilty? Y'all are not ready to no hoteps. He is guilty. Y'all are killing me. Y'all don't even know what homeboy's gonna say. Okay, your video still isn't coming. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me add you. All right. You know what? Hi. Yes. Okay, let me unmute you. My bad. Okay, go ahead.
All right, can
Introduce
you see me?
yourself
And you hear me?
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you.
I kind of felt when you started, the whole broadcast when you started talking about how much Lawrence was trash, and I hadn't seen it yet, so I had to just jump on right quick and turn it to just kind of get an idea. But literally, dude is trash, and I'm really getting frustrated by the moves that he's making because I don't know what they're trying to say in the large, like how dudes make these type of moves. But for you to, as a man, be on your ass during the time and you was in a relationship with Issa, and we understand depression and getting lost and trying to find your way, but be quite honest, he's part of the reason why she cheated. That's all she complained about in the first season. My man doesn't do this to me anymore. My man doesn't make me feel like a woman. And so she craves that and got that from an external part of the relationship. She ends up cheating on him. And in the process, he does make a come up. And it's kind of like what she says at the Mexican restaurant. She feels like she put in the work that make him who he is now. Let's be honest, it is. As much as you don't like the house cat, the light-skinned house cat dude, he also talks about it. He was like, dude, your last year, you was a bum. Like, let's be real. So his whole idea that he's been working on this entire time, which they showed in seasons 2 and 3, it was like an okay idea for an app. But by that time, he had landed a better job. We're gonna assume since he's in LA, he's making six figures. And here you go, your girl Issa is on the back end relying on a current potential of yours to lean on so she can get her jump off. So I mean, had these roles been reversed, and it was actually, a different, dynamic to this, we will look at this differently. But like, let's be honest, dude is trash. And quite honestly, he needs to pay Issa some money because she helped supported his ass when he was
Did
fucking
she
living
did
on her.
voice
And
a
I
nigga?
hate to cut,
Kid, she
and I know I'm
voice
on
a nigga.
YouTube, but she literally supported him, and now she needs money. She needs investors to get her idea to get her jump off. Like, to be honest, he owes her. She supported him. His idea was trash. Her idea was better. You have money now. Put the money back in with your girl. But then you're gonna play this game of jumping on Facebook. Your girl just told you how you make her feel insecure, that you guys got special jokes, and now she gonna see a record of you laughing or having seeing that she's enjoying her Thanksgiving. Like, you just literally being messy and trash for no
And
reason. That's just my
was he at
opinion.
Condola House when he sent that message?
Say it again.
Did was he at Condola House when he sent that message when he hit that
No,
Instagram, or was he home?
the one where he saw them celebrating in the
Yeah, was it
restaurant.
when he was going through Instagram? Was he at Condola House?
No, he was at his place watching their whole little mini series of where is
Oh,
Corolla.
Latoya, Toyota. That shit
Toyota. I
don't make
can't
no
with
kind of
that,
sense.
man.
That don't make no kind of sense. Oh man, Lawrence is really a bum ass nigga. Thank you for agreeing.
Yeah, it's again, it feels it's just, again, I'm gonna see what they playing this out, and if they're trying to make a statement about how men make certain decisions at large. But to be quite honest, he's his decision making has been flawed. The only thing that has been saving him is, one, he's a programmer in a city that they need programmers. Like, let's be honest. The only reason you're making six figures is because you're in LA and you're a programmer. Had you been or had a bachelor degree in some other skill or in some other city, you wouldn't be making that, and you possibly wouldn't have something to fall back on like that. So,
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't really get his point this season, but he's here, so we'll have to see where it goes.
true enough.
All right.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
for
time.
joining. Wait, what was your name again? There, Dulce. How do I say your first name?
It's Dow.
Oh,
It's
wait.
cool. It's Douse
Douse.
Duval.
Okay, Duval. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Have a good
Thank you.
night.
You
Okay.
too.
Okay. I have a few other people. See, he was not a hotel. He was doing good. He did great. Let me end the call with him and then add someone else from the call. Okay, so Fiona Deborah wants to know, why does Condola bourgeoisie not sit well with me? I think I said earlier, I just think that her bouginess. Okay, so as I was saying, Tiffany's bouginess comes across as panache, right? Like, it's a parody, it's somehow a joke and a commentary on like the bouginess of black folks, right? The show overall is, as Princess was saying, it is a very like middle class show, like upper middle privileged black folks show, which I don't take umbrage with. I don't take issue with. Um, but like Tiffany is already, everyone on the show is kind of bougie, even if they're bummish and brokish, right? Molly is bougie. Tiffany is like bougie in a parody type way. And then we just have Condola, who just is like, she an uninterested brunch black person. That's what it is. It's something about this episode. It's just like, oh, and I think it's the interaction with her friends and it not seeming, nothing seemed authentic. Nothing about her seems real. And I don't know if it's the acting. I don't know if it's the character. I don't know. But it just isn't, it's not hitting for me. It's not hitting. That's it. Um, yeah, points were made by Doss. He made them points. Thank you. I did a quick beat and maybe late, but we here. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can call Rashika and see if she wants to join. Doom 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 doom. I don't know if y'all can hear when I'm doing these Skype calls and y'all hear the ringtone. Everyone, yes. Okay, I'm gonna add Keisha.
You
Hello, how are you?
here.
You have to mute
Okay.
YouTube. You gotta mute. Wait, mute it.
On?
You are on, but
I
you
don't.
gotta have YouTube on
Oh,
silent.
wait, because I have it pulled up on my computer, so I'm like,
Yeah,
it's not
we can't do the double time. We
okay.
get too much feedback.
Okay, I muted it though.
Okay, thank you.
I had my headphones in.
Hmm.
Okay, I can't see myself, so that's why I'm like.
It's okay. You real cute. I see with your pink shirt on.
Oh, it's nice to meet you though.
Good to
That's
meet you
cool.
too.
Oh well, who was this? Okay. Um. So somebody had, as far as Molly in the dad situation, I think she's valid in she can feel how she feels about the situation, but it's just her immaturity that is causing the problem, and how like you don't have to be passive aggressive at the holiday. She should at her as how old as she is now. She should be able to at least hold that in and be cordial.
How
But
old
she,
is she?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. We don't know because we don't know if she's technically older than Issa. Are they the same age? Is she younger? I don't know. But what kills me, what because like I can understand having like that wanting to have what she thought her parents had. I low key feel like she I low key feel like they should have explored more with her, like her combo with her mom about it, because it almost seems like she wants to be mad, like she's still kind of maybe unconsciously upset that her mom stayed, but like she just doesn't know what to do with that anger. Maybe like she has to be. She knows she's mad at somebody. She just doesn't know who to be mad at because it's like my dad. He was supposed to be because I look. You don't even if before she found out everything. Even if she viewed them, she said she viewed them as like this couple that she wanted. But like you said earlier, she was still effing with a married man. So you couldn't have been in too influenced. You still so. And in terms of East like her comment she made to Molly made to Issa about her not being okay with the whole situation. I mean, obviously, I mean with Issa, I feel like when she said no, she's fine with it. I mean, obviously she's not literally. Obviously, it's very uncomfortable for her, but I think she's she's trying to grow in a way where it's like even though it's not, she's not completely uncomfortable, that she's not going to let that stop her from progressing in what she has going on, because she knows that she needs Condola. So instead of trying to make this situation with Lawrence ruin her opportunity, she's gonna be mature about it and move on with it. And I think that's something that Molly needs to learn how to do. I don't know. I feel like if they don't stay friends by the end of this season, they'll probably just they'll maybe have a falling out and then probably just be not maybe make up and not be as close as they were, because they, like that other person said earlier, they didn't know how to talk to each other from the very beginning, because on the first episode I did find it very off-putting how Issa made basically a joke song out of Molly's, feeling insecure about her sex life and relationships and stuff. I don't know.
No, it makes sense. I just it's hard to tell because a lot of things we want to critique, and then we want to try to figure out are we being reasonable with our critiques. It's hard because well, what's the timeline? How
Mhm.
old are these people? How long have they known each other? And there's a lot of this inconsistencies that kind of come, and it's like, oh, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know,
Mhm.
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah. The one thing I really like about uh Lawrence's his light skinned house cat friend is that he always calls him out on his shit. Like because Lawrence seems to always need to be reminded that he was a bum for 4 years, because he seems to always forget that. I don't,
Folks are
and
saying that Molly was sleeping with Dro, who was in an open marriage, but it was an open marriage according to Dro. And when his wife finally popped up, it seemed to be that it was not. And
I don't know if they they were very purposeful in how they try not to make they tried to make it unspoken. Like I think so. I think one of the writers on Twitter confirmed that she knew about it. I can't remember,
mm,
but at the dinner party, they were awkwardly standing next to each other and she wasn't saying anything. It just seemed kind of, I don't know. They have so many loose ends. Like they really should have ended that properly and made it known confirmed on screen whether or not she knew for a fact that they were sleeping together. I don't know. And Condola, this episode, she was fake. Like, I didn't know how to read her the first 2 episodes, but she just seemed real. Like somebody else said earlier, like she basically is the nicer version of Tiffany. And I mean, it's not surprising that she has some bougie elements to it because Tiffany is bougie. But the whole you invited yourself, like I had a problem with that because to me that's passive aggressive to be like after the fact be like I didn't actually invite you when he was trying to make plans. You said, "Oh, having a friendship thing," and instead of just being an adult about it and just saying, "Well, I actually don't feel comfortable you coming this time around," and being, like, but maybe next time it's just not, it's too soon. She just go ahead and lets him come, and even when he made the joke about not about leaving, she's like, "No, don't go." So how do you go from that to you weren't actually invited? And because that made the whole conversation go left. And then I don't remember anything about her being a divorcee. I don't know. I have to go rewatch an episode or two because that came out of nowhere
I
to
feel
me
like
about
it
her
got
being divorced.
mentioned in passing.
I don't know, because when they first met at the baby shower, maybe I need to watch the baby shower episode. Maybe they mentioned it then because we've only seen Condola at the movie theater party, the baby shower, and
did we actually see her at the baby shower last season?
Well, I think so. I think maybe in the kitchen or at least just one or two scenes
My
outside. I have to
goodness, I'm
rewatch
trying to
that.
get through Little Fires Everywhere. Now I gotta go back and watch Insecure season 3.
Yeah, I don't know,
All right,
but
well,
I didn't. That came out of nowhere to me though.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch, but I feel like it got mentioned in passing. But it wasn't talked about. And then because of the way that they talked about it in the kitchen made it seem she just said it as if Lawrence already knew. Like, I've been divorced for a year and a half. And I don't know. It was just weird. The whole
Because when he said, because when he said it, I almost want him to be like, "Why didn't you tell me more about your divorce?" Or like, he was kind of out of pocket for saying, "Are you still getting over your ex?" But I mean, he wasn't necessarily wrong for bringing it up. But I don't know. He's still a bitch ass nigga, like you said. But,
okay, I have to watch the season 3 finale because she apparently is there. She told him she was divorced at lunch. Okay, right, and that's what I thought, but it was like a saying. I don't think we saw the scene where she initially says, "Well, I was divorced, and this is how long I was with my husband, and yada yada." But I feel like it absolutely came up prior, where she's like, "Well, I'm divorced. Like, I'm a divorcee, so like." And the scene just kind of moved along, which is why it wasn't a thing. And then I remember thinking, well, they're in their 30s, so like somebody being divorced doesn't seem like uh a big deal.
I don't know. One thing I do wonder about is.
Oh, that's right. They did have a date scene in season 3.
They did?
They met on their first date in season 3. Condola told him she thought she'd scare him off when she found out. Woo! It's not that we don't be paying attention
I
to
do
these
remember
30-minute episodes taking a year and a half off.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, they did have the first date.
Okay, yeah, okay. The divorce thing isn't new.
But see that. Yeah, but see, I think I'm more interested in. I hope they clarify more how she feels about him because it's weird to have that whole thing with finding out that you're seeing Issa's ex-boyfriend of 5 years and you being all, "I don't know if we should do this," to then you come over his house like, "Okay, I'm ready," but then it's like the friend tells him that he's basically her fuck buddy, and it's like I feel like if he wasn't somebody she wants to be serious about, wouldn't she have just kind of been like, "Well, maybe I just need to pick somebody else so to keep from to avoid drama." Like if he was disposable in her mind, I feel like she should have, you know, when most people do that, they would just be like, "That's too much baggage. So let's just go on something else," because she does seem to click more with Issa as a friend than she does with Lawrence as a boyfriend, and it could just be because she's working with Issa too. But I don't know. There's something they need more clarification on Condola because right now At first, she was just kind of like innocent, a little weird, but now she's seeming kind of fake and I don't know.
I think we just have to wait and see. All right, but thank you for calling in. We getting at the hour, half hour, hour and a half mark. So I'm gonna add two more people and wrap
Okay,
this
well, it was
up.
nice chatting with
It was great
you.
chatting with you too. Have a good
On
night.
your channel for a long time,
Thank you so much
like
for
back when we were
supporting.
still doing natural
Oh,
reviews.
girl, so long. All right, have a good
Yeah,
night.
you too.
Bye.
Yeah, how do I hang? Okay.
Okie dokie. Um, the music this episode was, I enjoyed it. Am I the only one who appreciates them playing the Maya throwback Case of the X at the end? No, I think we all enjoyed the music. Okay, so everyone is confirming. Okay, so Condola is not the church girl. I clearly need to go back and watch season 3. Whoo, it's just so many little things happen. It's kind of figure, okay, what storyline do they actually pick up with? What story are they ending? Let's see who else uh is here. Who is in the call? Whoever this is, their mic is off. Your mic is off. Okay, I'm gonna add you.
Is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Hello.
Okay, so
Yes.
hi, Julesy.
Hello. What's your name?
Ew, my name is Shayna. I feel so honored right now.
As do I.
Yeah.
Hello.
So with this,
Welcome.
the feeling is mutual. Yes, you're right. Thank you for reflecting my light. Um, but what I was gonna say is, when I was watching this episode, I felt like it was an episode of Jeopardy
Hold on
because I
one
kept
second. One
asking myself,
second.
like, what is trash for
Are you
a
on the
thousand,
phone?
Alex?
You on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. We want to see your whole beautiful face. We see in the chin and below.
You know,
Go ahead. Okay, you're good there. Go ahead. Yeah. No,
oh, sorry.
it's all good. We just want to see the whole beauty. All yes.
Okay. All right. So this whole episode, I felt like it was an episode of Jeopardy. I kept asking, what is trash for a thousand, Alex? Because everybody here was trash. And the alarm clock was very symbolic because it wanted people to wake up, right? I felt like it was time for people to step into themselves and their power. Issa is the number one winner out of all of this, but she doesn't love herself enough to realize it because she's too busy being a backup dancer, following around Molly with everything she says and does. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like she wants to step into herself, right? Like she wants to go solo, but she's too busy being the group member, playing Melanie from Pussycat Dolls, only doing a riff here and there. When it's like, and I feel like with her doing that, she ends up creating. I could, because I feel like Molly is open, but you know how, like, I feel like this is Black girl rage. You know how people don't want to press us because sometimes they feel like you're aggressive or you're this or you're that, right? But from one Black girl to another, she understands it. Hence why she's friends with Molly in the first place. Because I also don't like this binary that's created where it's like Molly is this, aggressor and this, that, and the third, and Issa's on the other side. Like, no, they're friends for a reason. You know what I mean? So she's not aggressive. And Issa needs to understand that and just say what you have to say instead of trying to sneak this in, on the low. And I'm not even a Molly stan right now. I don't even know why I'm like articulating myself like this, but it's like, I feel like Molly tries, but the timing is always off, right? Like, I understand, like, she wanted to see her friend. She's like, let's talk. But how are you going to get mad at your friend for, like, prioritizing their family? We never see Issa's mom or their family or any time, but during this one holiday moment, girl, don't do the half. It's true. This one holiday moment, you're gonna be upset. It's like, I understand, but the time is like, it's also understandable that she would prioritize her family in this moment, which I appreciated because there's nothing like a chin check from your siblings, and I feel like both of them both of their siblings chin check them in different ways, right? Like Issa's sibling gave her, the kind, like, affirming chin check of like, oh, you saw Lawrence, how was that? Like we were able to see her have an honest conversation about her feelings in ways that she hasn't necessarily opened up with to Molly in the same way because of everything that's going on in their relationship. And then we saw Molly's siblings chin check her, like, sis, what are you doing? Why are you acting like that? You trying to take this little boy's job to be the scorekeeper? And because you can't get over yourself, like, you look foolish. Like, Molly really seemed like the type to cut off her nose to spite her face. You know what I mean? This whole episode. And it just wasn't cute. It really wasn't. So I think that's really much.
Well, sis, you read
I know I
everybody
said
for
a lot.
filth. That was a drag. That was epic. That was tea. That was point period. Okay. 100, all the emojis.
Okay,
You
I do
said, what
like
is
that.
trash for 1,000, Issa? Like, damn. Was
You know,
everyone
I'm
in what
here
is
as a
trash for
truth
1,000?
teller, and it
I
is,
am
you know,
dead. I don't ever want to get on your bad side. Oh my god.
nobody reads like the queers. Okay, we are just fluent in reading, and it is what it is.
We
And I
need to start a
also,
YouTube
just a quick
channel.
aside, right? Just a quick aside, I really do love and appreciate your fluidity when it comes in to like embracing language around queerness, and even like the way you chin check yourself. You're like, oh, thank you for giving me new vocabulary, new language, even with Sib. And I just wanted to say I appreciate you because I
Oh,
do
well,
feel
thank
like
you.
blackness is so inclusive, and I feel like you're a constant reflection of that. So thank
It's just
you.
I gotta do better sometimes. I appreciate when people correct me lovingly. It's
Hmm.
all equal. Y'all help me be better. So
But
thank
people
you.
aren't
Thank you
always
for.
open like that, so
I know we all gotta
it
do
really makes
better.
it.
It takes so little to do better, and I wish more of us would just be open to it.
That's the real tea right there.
But
Okay.
thank you for coming in and dropping all the tea, all the shade. I think we all got out like I don't even have no response because you covered it all. All I can do is say thank you, thank you.
It was my pleasure, and again, my honor. On that note, I'm about to go to bed. All
All
right,
right,
y'all. I
have a
gotta
good
teach the kids in
night.
the morning. All
Bye.
right, night, boo.
Okay, I think I might have one more person in here. Uh, did I already do Rakisha earlier? They in here. I don't know. Okay, thank y'all. That was a good time. I low key think we should just end on that note because woo, that was a read. That was I did add Rakisha. That was so thorough. That is so. I got a super chat though. Let me add it to the screen once it pops up in my comments. Where'd it go? Christopher says something about. Okay, here we go. Everything is intentional. Did you notice when Derek said, when Tiffany grabbed his butt, is it time for that? Tiffany said her facial expression said pegging. Oh man, I really wasn't even. I feel like they're making a joke of this, and I don't know what to. I don't know. Like that whole gobble gobble dick dick. That like yeah, there was a lot going on with the little asides with Tiffany and Derek. And you're right, they are intentional, and everything is kind of like the gun in the drawer set up for something to happen later. Woo! Okay. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed this. I hope people watching the replay enjoyed this. I will see y'all next week and we'll come back and do a live on Black AF later this week. All right? Deuces!